السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello, my dear students. Can you hear me well, please? If you can hear me, please let me know. Would you please write in the chat room if you can hear me? Okay. Our lesson today, inshallah, will be with Unit 10 with the past perfect. I'll be with you, inshallah, Mr. Walid Abdul Majid. Let's start and revise, please, the past perfect simple. Okay. Let's start with this sentence. She watched TV, she studied. When I ask you a question, what action happened first? She watched TV or studied? Actually, you can't decide because both of them with no linkers, both of them in the past simple. So with this sentence is much obvious. نقدر نقول هنا ايه? She watched TV, then she studied. So the first action here is watched, and the second action is studied. If I want to use after, in this sentence, focus with me, please. Here, with after, we arrange the two actions. The first action had watched in the past perfect. يعني if you have two actions in the past, the first action لازم يبقى ايه? Had watched, and the second action in the past simple. After she had watched TV, she studied. So my rule is that after is followed by past perfect, had PP, and the second action is past simple. Okay? So if I want to change it into before, if you remember that before is the opposite of after. When I say after she had watched, she studied, هنعكس بقى مع بعض. Before she studied, she had watched. It doesn't matter for you or for anyone to mention the first action at first with the past perfect. يعني مش شرط يا جماعة اللي يجي الأول يبقى هو past perfect. Take care of this. So the rule of before is a before is followed by past simple and والناحية التانية had and PP. What is the first action? أهو ده. This is the first action. Had watched. يا مستر ده جاي في الآخر. It doesn't matter. What matters for you that you can know the first action by using had. Okay. Can I use after in the middle? Yes. طبعا. She studied after she had watched. So if you want to use after in the middle of the sentence, please, after must be followed by first action. والsecond action يجي هنا في الآخر. Again with this part, she studied after she had watched TV. If I want to use until it is the same as after, followed by the first action and the previous is the second action. بس واخد بالكم من حاجة هنا؟ She studied هنا بقت ايه؟ She didn't study. يعني she had watched هي she had watched, it is the same. But before until we use didn't. I want you to look after to take care of this. That tell and until followed by had PP وقبلها past simple negative. أنا بقى عايزك تخلي بالك. Take care إن مش لازم ال past simple في النيجاتيف يبقى دايما didn't. It could be wasn't if passive يعني. It could be no longer. It could be refused. When I say my father refused to give me money until I had cried. لغاية ما عيطت له. فده كله يعني النيجاتيف بالمينينج. After she had written a letter, she sent it. خلاص دي after عادي. بصوا هنا look after she had written. I want to remove after the linker itself, the subject and had, and replace them with having. يعني after she had written a letter, she sent it. Having written على طول يبقى الرول بتاعتي ان having بيجي وراها PP. Having is followed by PP, then past simple. After she had written a letter, she sent it. طيب بص بقى كده معايا. I want to remove the subject and had and PP. طب they would be replaced by excellent after writing. طب ليه عملنا after writing يا مستر مش after بيجي وراها had و PP؟ اها we use after before plus gerund in case we don't have اهو a subject. يعني دي خلي بالك منها في التشوز الله يكرمك. After ويجيب لك had written and writing. If you don't have a subject use ing. Okay, they did the work, then they went out. The first action here, after they had done work, they went out. Okay, and the first action did, هنخليه في past perfect had done. The second action went out, it is the same as is went out. But we have here something is called it was only when. It is the same as after, by the way, followed by the first and then the second. But the only difference here that with after we use comma between the two sentences, but with it was only when or it wasn't until. شايفين they were written in blue after it was only when it wasn't until they are all the same. They are all the same. بس الفرق ايه؟ The only difference that with after and before we use comma, but with it was only when and it wasn't until we use that instead of comma. After they had done work, they went out. We have another linker here is called no sooner. But no sooner, it doesn't, it is not used at the beginning of the sentence. It is used after had and the past participle between both of them. They had no sooner done work than خلي بالي in the comma here changed into than. And here, let me tell you that no sooner, hardly, scarcely, they're all the same. The only difference that no sooner had than as a comma, but hardly and scarcely had when. يعني خلي بالك في اللي تشوز. No sooner تقول له than. اداك when تقول له hardly ما تقولوش no sooner. No sooner related to than. Hardly related to when. Scarcely related to when. دول ايه the same as after, but they are not mentioned at the beginning. They must be mentioned after had. After they had done work they went out. خلاص اهو دول قلناهم. بص بقى. Can I use no sooner, hardly, scarcely at the beginning of the sentence? Yes. Yes. But they must be followed by a question form. ازاي يا مستر؟ يعني بدل they had هتبقى ايه؟ had they. With no difference in meaning and with no difference with the rest of the sentence. No sooner had they done work than they went out. Okay? يعني كل اللي عملناه هنا ايه؟ We replaced we changed no sooner from the middle to the beginning of the sentence. Okay? But after no sooner we say had. عايزك تخلي بالك in hardly, scarcely, the same as sooner, but the only difference that we use when. So my rule is no sooner had subject PP than. Hardly the same, but when. And now time for practice. So who can answer this question? I have seen the film before. So I didn't want to see it again. Write in the chat room يا جماعة your answer. Had seen. Thank you, Basant. Malak, great. Okay, the second one. She didn't enjoy skiing. Okay, she didn't enjoy skiing. Would you please mute yourselves, please? Yes. She didn't enjoy skiing till or until or after or before. Excellent. Until. Yes, Malak. Thank you. And the third one, hardly, scarcely, or till, because had he told the truth when his father was not angry about the accident. Hardly, yes. Yes, hardly. And number 13. Number 13. After. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 13. After finishing. Yes, Basan. Thank you. 14. Here is number 14. I realized my mistakes until I checked the report many times. Didn't. Thank you. Number 15. Number 15. On. Yes, because on is followed by ing. Thank you. Okay, 16. The TV didn't work. Malak, where are you, Malak? Yes, please. Because. Thank you. And 17, having got or getting his degree, he began looking for a job. Having got. Okay, Basan, thank you. No sooner had he or he had. No sooner had he or he had. Had he. Yes, Basan. Thank you, Malik. Okay, and number 19. I won't answer, or I didn't answer the question till I had read it carefully. I didn't answer. Great. Number 20, I didn't open the door. I didn't open the door. I had found my key. Where is, Malak, where is until? Actually, I can't find until. It's till. Both are right, by the way, but you must focus on what is written in front of you. Thank you. And the last one, after I had gone home, I realized that my wallet at the shop had forgotten. Okay. After my homework, I watched the film. Okay, Malak, why doing not had done? For what reason did you choose? And the same for you, Basan. For what reason did you choose had doing, not had done? Had done. There is no subject. Thank you. تمام كده. And for this question, hardly had he left home. What is the comma here? Than, that, then, or when? Which one? Subject omitted. Thank you, Basan. Yes. Number 23. My comma is mentioned here as when. Exactly, because hardly is mentioned. And for 24, when I handed the examination paper to the teacher, I found that I excellent had made some mistakes, because the realization came after I handed. Yes, we had no sooner arrived. What is my comma? Would you help me faster, please? Dan, thank you. And I want you to take care. No, not that, Basant, please. Would you reconsider your answer, please, Basant? Have you meant it that, or it's typely wrongly typed, or do you mean it that? Keyboard, sorry. Okay, never mind. So it is Dan. Thank you. And he went to bed. He had bed his parents good night. After. And the last one, when I arrived at the station, all the tickets had been sold because it's passive here. Okay, now let's go to our vocabulary for this unit. Okay, we have some definitions at the beginning of the unit. This unit talks about the news and how we share our news. Okay, search engine. Search engine is a computer program that searches, yes, the internet for information such as Google Google Chrome, Firefox, and so on. Source, the place something comes from or start at. The beginning of something, it is the source. When I tell you that tomorrow is off, بكرة أجازة. So when someone asked you, how did you get this information? Mr. Walid said that. So Mr. Walid is the source. Okay. Reporter. Who is the reporter? Reporter is someone who collects and tells the news for newspaper, radio, TV. Okay. He collects only information. Editor. Editor is the person who is in charge, is responsible for newspaper. He is the head, the first person in the newspaper. Interview. Okay, it's a meeting where an employer could ask someone some questions. Okay, but I want you to take care that it doesn't, it is not related even to jobs only. It could be for talk shows on TVs زي عمرو أديب والي براشي دول كده بيعملوا انترفيو برضه ده كده لما بيكون مستضيف حد بيبقى اسمه انترفيو. It is not related only for jobs and question for jobs. Photographer is someone who takes photographs as a job or hobby for both. Newsreader, someone who reads reports on TV. And I want you to take care of newsreader, someone who reads, and reporter. The reporter is someone who collects information to give them, to give it the information to the newsreader to read for the people. Okay, you got it? Okay. Broadcast, to send out a program, on TV. Okay, when you show your information. Okay, اللي هو يذيع يعني. Channel is a television station, CBC, DMC, and so on. Correspondent, a person who finds news story in different countries. When a channel, a CBC, for example, sends someone in another country, in another area, هذا وقد وفانا مراسلون بقطاع الأخبار. This is called correspondent. Okay, this correspondent. Headlines, the titles of news stories. Okay, the head, and its opposite is details. Investigator, a person who tries to discover the fact of what happened. لو بيحقق في حاجة. Journalist is the person who finds news stories and tell the public. But it's written. Scene, a place where something has happened, perhaps crimes. Crimes, we see scene of the accident, scene of the crime. Digital nomad, the person who uses the internet, telecommunications, يعني, to earn a living. It's his job. It's his job. Okay. Yes. Okay. Fine. Deliberately, something done that is planned or intended. Fact checker, a person who makes sure that information is true. question. It's so easy sense to make sense, to give a sentence to make it meaningfully. Okay, here we have synonym and antonyms. Confirm is assert. Foreign aliens. Narcopolis cemetery للمدافن. Broadcast announce. Prisoner capital. Point of view, it is the same as opinion. Yes, remarkable, outstanding, and professional, efficient. Foreign, the antonym is native. Confirm, refute, to refuse something, refute, okay? It's the same as threaten, not refuse. Nonsense, to make sense. Far, it's close. Deliberately, accidentally, not on purpose. Remarkable, something ordinary. Peace, were, punish, reward. Come true, اللي هي ايه؟ To be achieved. In charge, responsible. Admit, to say the truth. It's followed by ing. Investigator, someone who checks. والمحقق يعني كده اللي inspector, someone who inspect people whether matters are going so well or not. Conductor, someone who check the tickets on the train. Okay, yes, yeah, okay. Before it turns upside down. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Keen on, and we call for help. Keen on to keep حاضر. Scenery اللي هو المنظر الطبيعي يا جماعة. Permission, when you have permission from your parents, I know. Permission to have oral permission from your parents. But permit, it's a written officially, by the way. Okay, yes. يلا. Can you give me your email, title, headline, or address or address? Okay, thank you. Number 2. King Lear distributed his all properties and wanted to keep his title. Thank you. Who is that who uses telecommunication technologies to earn a living? Digital nomad. Actually, my time has run out, and I must leave right now. I hope to see you soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.